Tom Brady is considered by many to be the GOAT. He's won 7 Super Bowls and 3 MVPs, and he has the most passing yards of all time. He knows a thing or two about passing the ball. So today we're looking at the 5 most important tips from Tom Brady himself to become the best passer possible. Starting with number 1, pocket presence. If you want to pass like Tom Brady, you have to work on moving around the pocket.
One of the most critical aspects for quarterbacks is quick feet and being able to move in the pocket and to stay on balance.
Having good pocket presence is essential to passing like Tom Brady or any good quarterback in general. Now, some players do have more mobility, which can allow them more ways to buy time, but for a guy like Brady who doesn't have that advantage, he had to master navigating the pocket in order to get the most out of every play. Learning to sense pressure, knowing when to move side to side, and knowing when to climb upwards is essential if you want to become a better passer. You never want to be moving backwards beyond your initial drop because this puts you right in the path of the edge rushers and outside blitzers, making it much easier for them to take you down. By climbing the pocket, you not only can buy yourself the extra second it takes to deliver a pass, but in the event of a sack, you won't lose nearly as many yards as you would have if you were moving backwards. Another reason you don't want to be moving backwards, but instead side to side or upwards, is because it makes your passes much more accurate and on time. When you're climbing the pocket, it's much easier to quickly set your feet right before you attempt to pass. Setting your feet gives you better accuracy, while moving too far backwards will have you passing off of your back foot far too often, which not only makes your passes much less accurate, but also throws off the timing. The closer you are to your target, the faster you can get the pass to them, which is crucial versus a tight defense. Sometimes you only have milliseconds to fit that ball into a tight window, so being closer to your target with your feet set gives you the best chance for a completion. This is something Brady has done better than anybody else throughout his career. It's the first thing you need to master if you want to pass just like him. Tip number 2 is all about reading the defense pre-snap, and that starts with the safeties. If you want to pass like Tom Brady, it helps to have an idea of what the defense is in before you snap the ball.
The 2 safeties tell me a lot. I always get my eyes on those to determine who they're trying to cover the most. Every defense has a weakness, and no matter what defense they play, the idea is to exploit those weaknesses.
As soon as you get to the line of scrimmage, you want to take note of the safeties. Are both safeties at the top of the screen? This means the defense is likely in a cover 2 man, a cover 2 zone, a cover 4, or a cover 0 blitz. If you see only one safety at the top of the screen, this likely means it's a cover 1 man or a cover 3 zone. Once we identify the placement of the safeties, we then look to our cornerbacks. If we see one high safety, we need to identify if it's a cover 1 man or a cover 3 zone. Notice the alignment of the slot cornerback. If he's lined up directly over the receiver, it's likely cover 1 man. If he's slightly offset from the receiver, then it's likely a cover 3 zone. If we see 2 high safeties, there's a bit more options as to what the defense can be in, so we want to look to the outside cornerbacks for help. If the outside cornerbacks are lined up right on top of the outside receivers, basically in a press look, this likely means it's cover 2 man. If the outside cornerbacks are about 5 yards off and lined up slightly to the outside of the receivers, this is likely a cover 2 zone. And if the cornerbacks are about 7 to 8 yards back and lined up directly over the receivers, this means it's a cover 0 blitz more than likely. But it could also be a cover 4 zone if you're getting this look right here. So the thing you need to do now is look back at the safeties and take note of their depth on the field. If the safeties are lined up 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, it's a cover 0 blitz. If the safeties are a few extra yards back, about 13 yards off the line of scrimmage, that means it's a cover 4. You also want to make sure you always look back and check the depth of the safeties, because if someone comes out in a cover 0 blitz, they may likely press their defense, in which the outside corners will be lined up directly over your receivers. So it could look like a cover 2 man, and that's when you want to check back to the top safeties and see, are they 10 yards from the line of scrimmage? If so, it's a cover 0 blitz and they're pressing. If they're about 13 yards off, you know it's a cover 2 man. Now, there are some ways for the defense to better disguise their coverage, but these general rules will more times than not give you a good idea as to what the defense is in, which can allow you to make adjustments or simply know what area of the field to attack, just like Tom Brady. If you read any type of man coverage, you want to look to man beating routes that you may have on a play, like a deep crossing route, a running back option route, or you can simply hot route one like a slant. If you identify that the man coverage is a cover 0, that means they're blitzing, in which case you want to block your running back to buy some more time. If you read a cover 2 zone, you want to look to dink and dunk underneath or try to attack the deep middle by splitting the safeties with a post route or a streak from the tight end. If you read a cover 3 zone, you can attack the seams with a streak or dink and dunk quick flat passes. If you read a cover 4 zone, you can attack the quick flats or dink and dunk over the short middle. If you've ever wondered why Tom Brady has been so accurate and on point his entire career, it's because more times than not, he knows what the defense is in, and you can too by following these rules. And if you're getting a lot of value out of this video so far and you want to be up to date with all of the best Madden tips all year long, make sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon on so you don't ever miss any of these videos. It really does help support the channel a ton. Tip number 3 to passing like Tom Brady is audibling based on what the defense shows you. Whether it be from the pre-snap reads that we just went over, or just by picking up tendencies throughout the game. Sometimes the play you come out in isn't going to be the right play for what the defense shows you, so being ready to check to a different play is crucial, and it's something Tom Brady does all the time. For example, when the box has few defenders in it, Brady will often check to a run like an inside zone. Just because Brady is an elite passer doesn't mean he has any problem handing the ball off if the defense is going to give it to him. In fact, here's a quote from Tom Brady himself. "I think the running game is very important to every offense. Being balanced is extremely important. When you become a good passer, the defense is always going to respect that first, so checking into a run play is something that can keep them on their heels and further open up passing lanes later on." Another example would be if you're reading a cover 2 zone by using the previous tip, you may want to audible to a play that gives you a good option to attack the deep middle while also providing you some quick check down options in case the pass rush gets free quicker than expected. Being able to check into the right play is what creates those big play opportunities that Brady is known for. Those don't just come by accident, it comes by knowing exactly what the defense is trying to do and having the right answer for it. People like to go deep every play, but the best passers take what the defense gives them, which is usually going to be quick, easy throws. You wait until the defense gives you the opportunity to pick up the big chunk, and then you take your shot. Tip number 4 from Tom Brady is all about getting the ball out quick. Tom Brady is not a guy who gets sacked a whole lot, and there's a very good reason for that. He doesn't hold on to the ball too long. Pass rushers in the NFL do not give you much time to get the ball out, and pass rushers in Madden are much the same, especially when your opponent is blitzing. Something Brady does better than most QBs ever is knowing exactly where he wants to go based on what the defense shows him and not wasting any time going there. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't want to completely predetermine who you're throwing to, but when you get good at identifying the defense like Brady has, you'll confidently be able to be right more times than not. Not waiting on the big play is a huge part of this. Like I talked about in the previous tip, you want to take the big chunks sparingly when the defense is giving you a great opportunity. You don't want to live and die by this every play because that's how you get sacked a lot. Tip number 5 from Tom Brady is taking your checkdowns. If we know anything about Tom Brady, we know he loves his checkdowns. He loves throwing to his running backs on option routes, the flat routes, you name it. Being a good passer relies heavily on your willingness to take your checkdowns. It doesn't look exciting, it doesn't usually result in the biggest gains, but it provides solid yards, keeps the offense moving forward, and is a pain for the defense to deal with. The easiest thing for a defense is knowing that you'll rarely take advantage of your checkdowns. It allows them to be more aggressive both in pass rush and in how they play coverage. This kind of goes with the previous tip of getting the ball out quick, although a checkdown doesn't necessarily have to be quick. You can choose to immediately take the checkdown if it's there, which is something that does work well, but you can also leave it as your last option or your hot read in the case of a blitz. In the event that you decide to take one of your big shots and it's just not there, this is where you look to the check down instead of forcing the deep pass or becoming a deer in headlights and holding onto the ball only to be sacked. In the event of a blitz off the edge or up the gaps, your check down should often be your hot read. Get it out quick and live to see another down. Wherever the blitz is coming from, that area should be open for an easy quick pass. If you practice those 5 tips, you can become just as good of a passer in Madden as Tom Brady is in real life. Now that you've learned about this, you need to know about the best overall tips and tricks in Madden, and you can check that video out right here on the screen.